keeps on raining, love is gonna break. If it keeps on raining.
Welcome back, Simon Tsalikis, Christina Ashgard, Bobby Dallas. This is the Habs This Week on TSN 690, coming to you live from Place Bonaventure, home of Hockey Expo 2. We'll be with you until 5 o'clock, and the show will be going on all day tomorrow. Come check it out. You can go to hockeyexpo.com as well. Bobby Dallas, this is your proud moment, your moment to shine. If you would have met Amy Walsh years ago, you'd be taking your NHL career into your mid-40s. Of course, we're talking about hockey, yoga. Amy, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
YogaHockey. Sorry, I said hockey, yoga. My bad, Christina. So it's funny, Amy, we've had several guests today, and we had a former head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, Jean Perron, talk about yoga and hockey. And we had Lou Luongo, who, of course, is Roberto Luongo's brother, who has one of the better goalie coaching schools in the city and maybe in the country. And he mentioned as well as, that his players, even at the age of, 15, 16, are doing yoga hockey. And so you could tell a little bit about what exactly that is. Yeah, well, YogaHockey is a program that's developed by a woman called Liz Paquin. She's got a long history as a teacher, but she also has a background in Pilates and postural gymnastics. And so she's combined all of these elements to give hockey players in particular. So she's also, it's yoga, but she's addressing specific imbalances that develop in the body as a result of playing hockey. So who are you, so let's say the client base, is it from the guy that's looking, the young kid going pro, or is it the guy in his rec hockey league that's, instead of going to physio because he's been told his whole life, just go to physio, where does the clientele come from? Yeah, well, I don't know about the physio part. I won't touch that one. But in terms of who it appeals to, we can take anybody from the age of 10 up to your sort of weekend warrior, your rec hockey person or guy or gal, Anybody who's into hockey, it's going to give you so many benefits in terms of body awareness, but then also breath awareness, and then sort of bringing those two together and addressing all those imbalances in the body.
Amy, how did you get involved with yoga and this program?
Well, my sort of involvement in yoga is back when I was playing pro soccer, and I played for the national team for about 10 years, and I got an injury to my knee, and then the way that I got back onto the field was through yoga, and so I became very passionate about it, and it became less of an off-season pursuit and something that I was incorporating throughout the year. And so I want to pass on these same benefits that I discovered through this great program that I'm certified to teach, and then I'm also creating a YogaSoccer program for soccer players.
A lot of, I guess, some of the problems, and Bobby, you would attest to this, going back to your playing days, was a lot of stereotypes, right? Guys wouldn't do that anymore.
Well, towards the end of my career, I got introduced to Pilates, which is very similar to yoga in a lot of ways. And I looked at it and I go, no big deal. And I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a workout. It's a lot of pushing yourself to an area where you're uncomfortable being. But I know when you leave, you go it's like almost like a chiropractor just alleviated all the pressure in your body. It was really, really quite a feeling.
Yeah. Amy, how does the yoga help to prevent injuries from happening? What do you specifically do to help with the flexibility and the stretching and things like that can help you in the game of hockey?
Yeah, well, that's something that not only are we giving them better body awareness, but we're also preventing the injuries. So for hockey players, a big one is probably groin injury. So we're going and we're stretching the inner thighs, the leg adducters, and then also giving them better forward bending, which is also working the outer hips, and then also giving them working from the feet up, looking at their feet, seeing if they've got a good foundation. So if they're firming down through the feet properly, they're a more powerful skater and then more balanced throughout the rest of their body. So addressing those small imbalances in the feet, but then it works their way up the legs, and that's how a groin injury happens, for instance. So in specific classes, we're addressing specific components of, say, like what hockey players are going to encounter during any point in the game. And then we're trying to fix that in yoga and also give them the tools to do it themselves through the breath awareness.
And in terms of balance, is there a difference in balance of how they're balanced on their skates versus just in a yoga room with perhaps just their bare feet?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because the way that they're standing on the mat, whether it's flat-footed or so they're more on the inside of the legs, or maybe they're on their feet, or they're rolling to the outside of the feet, that's the way they're going to be standing in their skates.
Right.
So the angle of friction of the blade with the ice isn't going to be optimal. So we treat every single class, no matter what poses we're doing, we're looking at the feet and how they're rooting down in the feet. And if they can translate that same subtle body work to the ice, they're going to be a better hockey player.
And you can check it out at YogaHockey.com. And I would imagine you're getting a lot of individuals who come in. But have you gotten to the point? Is it like not the stereotypes, but just you're getting a coach who call you up and saying, "Look, I got a bantam team or I got a midget team, and I'd like the entire team to take a session." Have we gotten to that point, or are people still a little bit skeptical?
Well, I think we have gotten to that point is where people, like somebody like François Landreville, who's well known, who works with a lot of the pros in our off-season preparation, he's the spokesperson for the program. So I think that gives it a lot of credibility and sort of the I'm too macho to do yoga set, But teams are approaching and saying, look, this is something that we feel could be of benefit to us, and we'd like to do it, and the whole team is doing it. But we feel like you get these kids in who, not to say that you're in sports, you're popular, but these kids are out there and they're interacting with their friends, and if they see their macho hockey friend doing yoga and they say, you know what, like, I felt ridiculous at first, but it allowed me to get into my body, and look what it's doing for me on the ice, then all of a sudden these kids are going, oh, well, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Well, it's also sorry about that, Christina, but it's also to prevent injuries and to get back quicker from injuries.
Absolutely.
So that's a win-win situation for everybody. So I would understand why bigger teams are looking at this. Frank Landerville, Frank the Tank, he does deal with a lot of pros.
Frank
and
the Tank.
That's his nickname, Frank
Right.
the Tank.
I don't call him that.
Well, nobody calls
I
it
don't know
that.
well enough to
It's
call him
Bobby
Frank
calls
the
it
Tank.
Frank
Well,
the Tank.
I know him as Frank the Tank. So,
Okay.
anyways, and that's what it is. The teams, you go in there and you sell it to your team or you sell it to your client. You say, you know what? I guarantee you'll have less injuries, and I guarantee when you do get an injury, you'll bounce back a lot quicker. I mean, what's there to sell? I mean, that sells itself.
Yeah, exactly. And so the more people that come through the door, the more people that are sold on it, then you get those stories and you get the anecdotal evidence, and that's what gets people coming in to try it out.
So the website is www.yogahockey.com, and a lot of your classes are offered out of the Complex Sportif Bell out in Brossard. Is that it?
There are some out of there, but the Yoga Sport Group is located in St. Basile. But if you go to the website, there are 20 teachers who are certified, who are formed in St. Basile, but then go back to where they live. And if you go to the website, you can find a teacher. I think they're in 7 regions in Quebec, so you should be able to find one near you.
Great.
Amy, thanks for taking the time. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
And you'll be here again tomorrow, I would imagine, all day with the expo.
Yeah.
Good times.
Absolutely.
Bobby, you got all your old yoga info there?
Yeah, I think it's very enlightening. Let's just say that.
Simon Tsalikis, Bobby Dawes, Christina Ashgard. This was the Habs Week on TSN 690. 5 o'clock, top of the hour. Cole won't have an update. We out, everybody.
Children, let the song begin.